Hello and welcome to Hearts of Wulin Tournament of Sorrow. This is a session that is for Gauntlet Community Open Gaming, GCOG. This is our open gaming weekend that we're doing here at the end of March. This is a one-shot with Hearts of Wulin, which is a game that I designed and co-wrote. And today we're going to be building characters. We're going to be setting up their entanglements, and we're going to be putting them right away into the thick of situations here for this tournament that they're headed to with whatever agendas that they've brought with them. So my name is Lowell, pronouns he, him. And if you're interested in any of this, you can find out more about the Gauntlet at gauntlet-rpg.com. That's our website. Hearts of Wulin, you can find the PDF of that on drive-thru right now if you're interested. So what I'm going to do today is talk first about the setup, which means we're going to go through CATS, which is our concept, aim, tone, subject matter. Talk a little bit about safety. We're then going to do character creation, and then getting to play. We take a break at the end of character creation, usually about 10 minutes. And then we'll take one or two other breaks following that. Usually I aim for those being on the hour as are needed. We're going to be playing. If we get to that last hour and we've already kind of wrapped things up, then we'll stop where we need to. If we hit that last 30 minutes of play, that's where you may see me hard frame characters like into scenes, into positions together, so we can kind of get to a resolution. So I'll get a little more hands-on moving things around as are needed there. That's just to tell you that I'm aware of the time. I try to take that seriously, and that I do want to see about getting to a resolution. So let me talk about Hearts of Wulin. This is a game of melodrama. Duels will break out, but it's often because of longings, thwarted desires, and terrible duties. It's melodrama in the sense that experience, emotions, those things are heightened, yet our characters, who are incredibly skilled in so many ways, they are bound by the ties of their own hearts. And so they have a hard time expressing themselves. They are forced to, by their own natures, by the strictures of society, to talk obliquely about their feelings, about their emotions, about their desires. You all belong to this Wulin world, which lies outside of the sort of the real world of the imperial houses. It lies outside of the real world of farmers and those things. Wuxia as a class comes from a sense of the Shah, which are heroes that would go and right justice. These come out of our sort of modern sense of it, novels that kind of reach their apex in the 50s and 60s in Hong Kong, written by Louis Cha and Gu Long, and that were then have further been refined with different TV drama adaptations and now web novels and so on. So that there's more of a sense of the Shah belonging to factions and clans and families. The touchstones for this are movies like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, but also now that we're in the golden age of Hong Kong and Chinese dramas being available on Netflix and YouTube and Amazon Prime, shows like The Untamed, or if you haven't seen it, if it's still available on YouTube, Ancient Detective is the best. It is Agatha Christie meets wuxia, and I love it to death. So our story is about these heroes who are in conflict with each other, are in conflict with themselves. So our aim, our approach is, of course, we're going to do character creation. You'll choose a playbook representing your archetype, and within that playbook, you'll choose one of the three roles that kind of focuses in on that will give you a move, and then you'll get a couple of other playbook moves as well. Once we've got those mechanical choices in place, and if when we're doing character creation, there's some things you don't like, are unsure about, don't want to choose yet, you can choose them in play. Like if you want to like not choose both of your moves, you can hold off and choose that as we go along. But once we've got our characters made up and we've done introductions, then we're going to do entanglements, which are really important. Entanglements are triangles. They are how you relate to one person and how that relationship is complicated by a third person. So they're always triangles. You're going to have a general entanglement, and you're going to have a romantic entanglement. And I do want to stress that romantic entanglement can be more feelings of strong friendship, camaraderie, passion, those kinds of things. If you're not as interested in sort of the love story, romantic, or if you're imagining your character as ace or something like that, just that those options are out there. But introductions, we'll do the entanglements. You'll include at least one other PC in one of your two entanglements so we can get those tied up. But I also want to point out now that we have a couple of resources when it comes to entanglements. One is we have a page of NPCs. These are pictures of beautiful people with names on them. So when you go to make up your entanglements, you can go and fill in those blanks with people from there, and we'll figure out who they are. The other resource that I want to mention is we do have an entanglements and names tab in the Keeper, which I'll come back to when we get to entanglements. But if you're looking for names, I've got women's names, men's names, and sort of martial or honor names there as well, if you're looking for inspiration. Our tone, as I said, is melodramatic. Reactions, passions are heightened. You have to maintain your facade in the face of these trials. This should be played straight. It's serious, but not necessarily grim. There's room for comedy and humor that should complement the play. But it's also a thing, kinds of stories that can move from laughter in one scene to nursing your dead lover in your arms in another. So there is a lot of room within that. Sometimes it's heartbreak, sometimes it's joy. That's the world that we are going to be playing in. And while it is melodrama, in the sense of the kinds of stories that are the source of this, the TV shows and things, as we would if we were playing Passion de Passiones, we're going to treat the material as respectfully as we can. Where the source material is great, it's fun, and we'll treat it with the kind of respect that it deserves. Our stories, the subject matter, are going to involve combat to settle issues large and small. You may be working to advance your family's interests, but especially in the case of a one-shot, you're going to have some desires built off your entanglements that you want to get answers to, you want to solve in the course of this. Last thing I want to say before I go to safety, this is a mythical China. It's the China that's presented in wuxia TV shows, dramas, novels, all of that. It is not a historical version of that. We aim to honor all of those stories with respect. We might reference like movie shots and things like that, but we're not going to make fun of styles or things like that, or particular techniques, things, that's been historically a terrible set of running jokes, especially in the 70s and 80s, about these films when they were butchered when they came over to the US. We don't dwell on those things. And then last thing, we can do voices. We do not do accents. We absolutely avoid accents at the table. So with that in mind, I'm going to circle back to where I started before I even started the recording. Marcus, are you good with student as your playbook? What are you thinking for your role?
It all looks so good. You may get me.
Yeah, I want to pick them all.
Yeah. Okay. I'll let you say. We've got your playbook, so I'm happy that we've got that settled. So go ahead and pick a column on the Keeper. There is the tab that goes through the character creation process. You'll go through those first 4 steps: look and name, coming up with what your style's name is and what weapons you use, assigning your stats, the elements, and then choosing your playbook moves. And then we'll kind of stop there, and then we'll do introductions. So I'm going to let you go on that. Michael, I'll come back to you. Loyal, aware are the two that you mentioned before. Which one is appealing to you now?
I was wondering if Rod has any interest in any of them.
Yeah, Rod, what do you
Oh,
think?
yeah, thanks. I'm looking for the aware scholar.
Okay, then loyal it is for me.
Okay. All right. So we'll do loyal. Brandon, outsider or unorthodox?
I think outsider, unorthodox, excuse me, unorthodox.
Okay.
Mixed up the two.
All right. I am going to let you loose on this. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me. This is a part where I kind of mostly sit here awkwardly. I am going to pause the recording and I will restart it once we get to character introductions. So I skipped over safety tools, which is the dumbest thing I could do. But Michael mentioned in terms of tone, not wanting to be too comedic. And I think it's fair to mark out that maybe since we're not looking necessarily for comic, that we do maybe table the accidental. Is that okay with you, Brandon? I know it could kind of, are you good with one of the other two?
I'm sorry, say again.
Oh, so we're going to table the accidental as one of the roles. Are you good with, for the unorthodox, doing one of the other two roles?
Yes, I am good. Yeah, I kind of settled on the prodigy, actually.
Okay, good. All right, yeah, and I think that's was a fair point to bring up, Michael. I know all of you have played with me before, but just for those watching at home, we have a set of tasty tools layered that we're using. We have lines and veils. That's there on the tab. Lines being things we don't want to see, veils being things we want to fade to black on, and then ask first for anything that we might want to have, but we want to check in. We've got a couple of things marked there already. As you have a chance during character creation, please take a look at that and add to that list. The second tool that we have is, of course, the X card, which you can say X card or you can do the gesture. The X card can be used if you find material that is problematic, that is objectionable, that is wildly off tone. If a particular play style of another player is like intruding in on your scenes, you can X card on that to kind of stop play. Those are all places where the X card is useful. X card is also useful if in the heat of play, maybe we're starting to move towards something that's marked as a line or marked as a veil, and we maybe haven't caught it yet. So that's a good place to X card to kind of stop and allow us to roll back. You never have to defend your X card choices. The only thing we might ask is like where we need to cut back to fix that. And the last thing is open door, which means that if you need to step away, if you need to leave for whatever reason, you're welcome to do that. It'd be great if you could tell us, I'll be right back or whatever, but you're not required to. It also means that if we hit a break and you're like, this is not a game I want to play in, you are more than welcome to leave. You should never play in a game that you're not enjoying. So all of those are our tools that are out there. Now I'm going to be quiet for a while. So we are going to start character keeper order. We're going to move left to right. So Marcus, tell us about your character.
Hi, I'm Marcus, and my pronouns are he, him. My character is Ganfei. Pronouns are he, him as well. He is a student. He picked the role, the Temple Wanderer. He has a smiling, open face. He's an open book. He's got road-worn clothes, but he is solidly built for such a dopey little kid.
And how old is he? Are you pretty young?
If this is a show, the actor playing him is in his 20s.
Okay.
But he is playing a character that is about 16, 17.
Okay. Tell us about your style, what weapon you use, and what the style element is for that.
Sure. The style I chose is the oops, sorry, I lost him a bit. There he is. The Heavenly Storm style element is wood, and the weapon I wanted to go with is the the 9-ring sword.
Oh, okay. So the wider saber with the rings at the back of it.
Mhm,
Okay.
mhm.
All right.
The old ring of rain.
And like what kind of order is he from? Like the temple, is it more of a martial temple? Is it more of a philosophical temple? What are you imagining for him?
I think for him, it's more of a he's kind of at that crossroad. It's a martial temple, but he's very, very curious and very contemplative. And basically, it's the young person that asks a lot of questions and probably very, very frustrated teachers who just said, go out and experience the world. You have too many questions for us right now. Get out there and experience stuff.
And would you describe him like when people meet him, do they think this person is naive? Do they think he's young? Do they think he's worldly? Like how do they, when they meet him, what do you think their first impression is?
I think their first impression of him is like country mouse comes to the city.
Okay.
He's like a sponge. He's trying to absorb it all, and so he is somebody that I think a lot of people are very happy to be around or invite into their home. There's not like a feeling of menace to him, even though he's a big boy with a big giant sword. But also on the other side, he's easy to be taken advantage of. You know, he's gonna lose everything in a 3-card monte
Yes.
because he just always picks the wrong one. And he says, "Oh, maybe fate has something better in store for me. Let's try 8 more times."
Yes.
Well, 8's a lucky number. I mean, that makes
Yeah.
sense.
And so what is the role move that you get with Temple Wanderer?
The role move for Temple Wanderer is, sorry, I forgot to paste that in. There we go. You belong to a temple, but you have decided or have been told to explore the temporal world. When wearing your temple attire, locals treat you with respect, and even bandits may think about twice before attacking you, and you may ask for and be given hospitality while traveling.
Excellent, excellent. And have you chosen any of your playbook moves?
Yes, I went with the Proud Youth and Bladeheart. Bladeheart is when you attempt to change loyalty or purpose of a worthy agent, a villain. I may roll, and on a 10+, your words reach them. They will act to aid you right now. They may come to you or come with you, go to face their master or flee. The 7 and 9, your words make them hesitate. Choose whether your word plants doubt in their mind or if take inadvertent action to assist me. And on a miss, they fool you with a seeming change of heart, which is pretty on brand for Ganfei.
Yes.
And the Proud Youth is when you seek the guidance of an elder, either in the present or in a flashback, tell them the challenge you face and roll. On a hit, they tell you what to do. On a 10+, they reveal their own secret connection to the problem. If you listen to the elder's advice, you take +1 ongoing for that particular problem. If you go your own way, marked XP. And on a miss, they don't have time for you because of shocking events, mark an element.
Awesome. So I think that gives us a good picture. We're going to be thinking about, once we kind of get everybody introduced, like why you're going to the tournament. We're going to come back to you after all the introductions are done to have you pick your general and your romantic entanglement. There are examples on that entanglements page curated for the student, but then if none of those appeal to you, there's a big list further down after all of those. Which brings us to Brandon. Brandon, tell us about your character.
So my character is Dayu Ping. His name translates as Black Jade, and she is called by either, because of course they mean the same thing. She appears to be a young, unsophisticated person out of place here. almost certainly. And another remarkable thing is that she has an odd, I think it's a sword, but but you know wuxia weapons also. I'm gonna ask for suggestions for you. This is an odd and looking and probably really old style weapon of some sort. Something completely out of date that nobody would use anymore. That hasn't, they don't make any, they haven't made for, 200 years or something like that. She was married young to a warrior of good heart and was settling down to be a housewife when he was ambushed by an enemy clan and killed in their home. She was forced to flee. On the point of capture, she encountered a shrine with this weapon, grabbed it out of desperation and deciding to sell her life dearly, and suddenly realized that she knew how to fight. She killed them all. And since then, she has basically, wandered from place to place, filled with her heart, filled with vengeance and loneliness. Her home was burned. She has nothing. Her clan dispersed. She has nothing to go back to. But she longs. She longs for the life of innocence that she once had. But she realizes destiny has chosen her for something else. The sword, or whatever it is named Dawn and Dusk. That's in characters written on it, and she thinks that it speaks to her sometimes, at night or in dreams, and perhaps that there may be a ghost in it.
What is the element that is associated with the style here? What is it? Is it a sort of fire?
It's
is it a sort of metal, or
it's fire.
Fire. Okay.
This is a weapon of war that was left here at the. Her guess is that it was left at the shrine by a warrior who had finished, who decided that he didn't wish to fight anymore. At the end of a long bloody career, that his heart was heavy with all the life he had taken, and so he laid this sword down at this obscure tiny shrine in the woods, but to consign it to the world, effectively, where there it remained undiscovered and forgotten until she happened upon it in an hour of desperate need. But this is not a. This is a battlefield weapon. It wants to kill.
So as you say, older style, so probably a wider blade than your typical saber, probably a different hilt that suggests a weapon that comes from the old imperial wars.
And the sort of, if this were Japanese, which I know a little better, it would be like a Tozanuki, the heavier, blunter battle sword kind of thing, rather than the finer, dueling weapon. And I'm sure the Chinese has an equivalent.
What does the Prodigy move do? Your roll move?
The Prodigy roll move. Let me read it here. You have great power, perhaps beyond your ability to control. You may be untrained, cursed, or gifted with these techniques once per session. You may roll an additional die after rolling and take the two highest results. If you do, you create a problematic fallout on a 7 to 9. Okay. The sword has gifted her with abilities that she doesn't understand or have much control over, and it seems to have also inflamed her her passions to where she might have grieved and gone on. It has kept the fire in her alive, and the old hurt to some degree too.
And what were the other two playbook moves that you took?
Fearless Fighter. When you have your style element marked, you may opt to continue fighting by rolling plus number of elements marked. If you do so and have to mark an element, you must mark wounded and cannot continue fighting. And then 10 miles of peach blossoms, you have +1 ongoing when interacting with common salt of the earth folk. You know how to show them you're one of their own.
Awesome.
She was of no great status, and was willing to chop wood and carry water cook and raise children before her life was torn to pieces.
All right. That gives us, I think, a good picture of Black Jade. We'll come back to you and we'll have you pick a romantic and a general entanglement. We'll kind of circle around on both of those, get those in play. That brings us to Rod, to Grandmother Venom. So tell about this character.
Right. So it looks like everyone picked young people. And I went completely opposite way. Grandmother Venom is she's a very short, elderly woman, unhinged smile, baggy clothing. She's always carrying a satchel which has various poisons and perhaps other surprises. Let's see. I had her that she's she has some reputation as a mistress of poisons, and that she's older and she's killed a bunch of people. They've had trouble proving that, just because she's so good with poison, she can almost make them untraceable. But of course, in her mind, and probably in possibly in truth, they all deserve dying, because in secret she's actually a disgraced scholar who I think the other scholars did not want a woman amongst their ranks, and they framed her. She was actually a healer, still a master of poisons, but before it used to be curing.
So we have an order of scholar healers that were very regressive and didn't allow her in. Is that sort of that framed her up?
I think there's their motive. Yeah.
Okay.
She was tasked to heal like the child of a governor who had been bitten by a centipede, and she would have, it would have been an easy job. She knew how to do it, but someone played with her antitoxins and healing potions, and the child survived but was lame, and the governor was furious, and you can tell me if this gets too dark or not, but he lamed, he inflicted that same fate on her family, and her maybe her clan even, and of course she was disgraced, cast out. She left, continued her studies of poisons, learned kung fu as you do, and I think she's here at this tournament because she's not so much looking for revenge anymore. She's pretty much killed, as far as she knows, everyone responsible. But I think it's the reverse. People are here to get revenge on her,
Okay.
like family members. She's probably going to be dodging attacks left and right.
So she has a reputation, as a villain, but in fact, the crimes that she's committed have been to avenge crimes committed against her. Is that kind of what I'm hearing?
Yeah, I think
Okay.
so.
All right. She's kind of been framed a little bit in the course of this. Okay.
Right. I think she will play the part of the villainess as well, as needed. I think she's actually going to determine to find someone worthy enough to kill her. And she's old, and she's ready, but she wants to die by the right hand.
And what is you use these two short staves? What's the style element that you want with that?
Okay, so the style name is Cackling Serpent. I think like each end of each staff is it looks like it's like some kind of pointed stylish. So I think there's like there's fangs on one, a scorpion tail, forked tongue, and I thought of another one, but I can't remember it now.
Okay.
Oh, like pincers. when
A
you-
rattle?
like a-
Yeah. Okay.
yeah. Well, something, yeah, like something pointed. So I think like pincers of a scorpion, perhaps, or something. Yeah.
Tell us about the moves that you chose.
Right. So my role move is you're a gifted scholar. When you successfully study based on history, research, or informants, you gain an additional 1 hold that I can use for +1 forward when acting on the information. The other moves I got were 14 blades, which is you can create strange devices and substances, hidden weapons, smoke bombs, dissolving liquid. Say what you wish to make, and the GM will tell you what you need. Once you have that roll on a 10+, you build it. On 7 and 9, its effect is brief or unstable. On a miss, the creation has the opposite effect you intend. And of course, I have 5 deadly venoms as
Yes.
my second move. You can immediately spot and identify any kind of poison or potion before it's consumed in your presence. If someone has been poisoned, you have +1 forward to treat and heal them with overcome.
Excellent. All right. I think that gives us a good sense, and I like the character you've built. I like the picture that you've chosen. We're going to come back to you once we get the last introduction done. We'll come back around and we'll do those entanglements, a romantic and a general. So last but not least, Michael, tell us about your character.
Sure. So I'm Michael. I use he, him, or they, them pronouns, and I'm playing Dreaming Fall, like fall as in autumn. And he uses he, him pronouns. So my playbook is loyal, and I'm a devoted child. And so my general idea was that I want someone with an unusual weapon. So I went from there, and I'm fighting with an umbrella. So Dreaming Fall is rather young and handsome, but unassuming, and you wouldn't think of him as a fighter, because maybe older siblings are. And I'd say he probably wears the colors of his clan or family. We can come up with that. And colorful silks, warm eyes, those are kind of the looks. And so I was thinking about, having an umbrella and using it kind of as a shield and controlling the opponent. So might be coming in fast, and while you defend, you can strike as well with the umbrella. So I named it Lurking Turtle Style. And it's associated with metal because it's controlling and calculating. So I'd say maybe you'd rather underestimate the character as a fighter, and he's very loyal and wants to bring honor to his family. So that might be a motive why he's at the tournament.
Do you think you learned this style within your family? Is this a family style, or is this something you learned separately on your own? Is it different from what your family knows?
Oh, that's a good question. I think that's rather unusual, because I really want to be loyal and do everything my family does the way, but I'm not as fast and creative or aggressive, maybe. So I adopted another style that is different from them.
I like that. I like that. The one place in your life that you've chosen something for yourself rather than for the family. Nice. Tell us about the moves that you have.
Sure. So let me look. So my role move is you're loyal to your family and they support you. Once per session, you may call in a favor, a letter of introduction, entrance to private ceremony, support for wild plan, etc. They may ask favors or have other expectations for you.
Okay.
And for my other moves, I picked Divine Sky Sword. When you roll a hit against a lesser 4 or a 7 to 9 on a duel against a foe of equal scale, you may radically change the location of the conflict, forcing your opponent into a nearby area, off a cliff with you, through a window, etc., in addition to other choices.
Excellent. And the other one?
Strive for Mastery. When you give NPCs an order based on authority they respect, roll. On a hit, they choose one: obey, stay aside, muster a weak assault, or freeze. On a 10+, pick one option they may not choose and take +1 forward against them. On a miss, choose mark an element or have someone important regard this as overstepping your place.
So the authority that you're probably coming from is just your family's name, your family's status.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Lowell, I changed one of my moves, thinking
Okay.
about the character.
Sure.
So for the second move, I picked Kid with the Golden Arm.
Mm-hmm.
When you try to break something which can be broken, roll. On a hit, you break it. On a 10+, you do so spectacularly or with impressive control. You may create cracks, etch a trace around a character, shatter into powder, break later, or collapse something massive like an inn. On the 7 to 9, you simply break it, or you may take the 10+ result by marking an element. On a miss, choose mark an element or have your breaking go horribly awry. Yeah, this sword, I think, if, narratively cuts through armor like it's not there.
Okay. One last question, Michael, for you. The umbrella, has it been weaponized? Is it weighted to be a weapon? Is it reinforced? Are there blades at the edge of it? How are you imagining that?
Oh yeah, it's definitely more stable than a normal umbrella would be, and I'd say there's like metal spikes in it as well.
Okay. Okay.
But
Good.
but you wouldn't be able to tell
Right.
it from the first look.
Perfect. So we're going to come back to you to talk about entanglements here in just a moment. We're going to come back to Marcus. Marcus, we're going to have you come up with a general and a romantic entanglement. You want a PC in at least one of those. So you've got sort of 4 slots, put a PC in one of them. And of course, we've got the beautiful pages of beautiful people there for you to put the names of NPCs there, characters. Which do you want to start with? We'll do one and then we'll go around and come back and do the other. General or romantic?
I had in a slight twist on the romantic.
Okay.
I liked the blank advised me not to pursue blank, but secretly wooed them. And my twist was, I was thinking, if Rod, you're okay with this, I had grandmother Venom advised me not to pursue Ashen Twilight, but secretly wooed them. And I was thinking wooed not in a sense of a romantic sense, but maybe you according to your story, spotted Ashen Twilight and said, that's the person I'd like to end my life and perhaps, continue this legacy, but this romance is going to get in the way of what you want, And so you've been advising me, like, look, she doesn't have time for your goofy eyes and your romance and whatnot, and I can't understand why you're telling me not to pursue this person, but you're an elder, so he's on phase like, oh well, okay, grandmother. He doesn't realize you're a villain, so if that sounds okay with you.
I'm not sorry. What was the purpose I'm advising against it?
Oh, you had mentioned maybe coming to the tournament to find somebody worthy enough to end your life,
right?
And I was thinking my pursuing Ashen Twilight is taking away a focus that you see in them that they could be the person worthy enough to actually challenge you and maybe end your life.
Okay. That's fine.
And we can play, and you can think about how you want to do that. It may be that you want them to end your life. You maybe that there's some secret background connection you have with them or something like that. We can kind of leave that open for you, Rod. But does that seem fair? Like, you know, Ganfei probably doesn't know your reputation, you know, and he's a handsome young man who's very polite. So when they came to you to say, "Oh, I'm in love with Ashen Twilight, what should I do?" and you're like, don't go there. Does that seem cool?
That's fine.
Okay. We'll come back and get your general one then in a moment, Marcus. Brandon, would you like to do your romantic or your general first?
I would. Well, I think the romantic one first. The general one, there's so many choices. It's hard to narrow them down. But a defining characteristic of Black Jade is she's lonely. And I think she has fallen for Dreaming Fall. And I think Dreaming Fall's family was the one, in fact, that killed her husband. So if we can just that just seems like the most direct and obvious. So I didn't see the wording of that exactly, but
so then what we do is we kind of put that in a person here. So you're in love with Dreaming Fall, but their family committed a crime against you. Let's get a person. Like, who is a person from their family who was involved with that?
Let's say Captain Fang, because she's
okay.
She seems like the type.
So Captain Fang, Michael, what's Captain Fang's relationship to Dreaming Fall? Is he your master? Is he a brother? A parent? What do you think?
Probably my older brother.
Okay, so Captain Fang is your older brother, and you know that he has had a checkered past, but you don't know that in fact he was involved in some very sketchy things and involved with the death of Black Jade's family. Does that work for you, Brandon?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Nice.
So go ahead and make sure I put that in here. Brother to and then Ashen Twilight. Connected. Okay. Great. We'll come back and get your general one here in a moment. Rod, what would you like to do for your romantic or your general?
I think for the romantic, I think she is looking out for Dreaming Fall because she was once in love with his grandfather.
Oh.
So she doesn't want to make that too well known because her enemies might target him as well. But she's going to try to want to protect him through the tournament. But I think Captain Fang.
That's the older brother to Dreaming Fall. Yeah.
Right.
We've got Iron Lion there up at the top.
Iron Lion. Let's see. Iron Lion. Right. Oh, let's say Iron Lion is one of the people who wants revenge against her.
Okay.
And she needs to protect Dreaming Fall, but very surreptitiously.
Okay.
Or else Iron Lion will target him as well.
So Iron Lion is one of the people who has sworn revenge against you, and they will certainly target Dreaming Fall if they find out that you have a connection of the heart, that you want to protect him.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Does that work for you, Dreaming Fall? Okay. Dreaming Fall, that brings us to you. Do you want to do your general or your romantic?
I think I'll do romantic.
Okay.
And just in advance, I see my character as pansexual. So
Okay.
even though I probably will pick some relation to Gunfei, Black Jade can still, be into me and might have a chance.
Sure, absolutely.
So, Marcus, do you think you're kind of like 16, right? So you're probably not married at this moment.
Not married yet.
Not yet.
Uh,
I could hope. I mean, Ash and Twilight so pretty, but we hope.
So I'm not sure which one fits better. So there's one, I love Gunfei, but I have sworn revenge against the family member. Could be also a member of your temple or clan or whatever. And then we would have to pick a NPC.
Yeah.
What? Yeah, I think I'll go with that one.
Okay.
And
So maybe like an enemy of my family.
okay. So who is this peer of Gonfei, somebody from their temple?
Do you want to pick?
Oh.
Either way.
I'm sorry.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's an
Wait,
open
who?
question there. That's always
Yeah, sorry, I didn't
always the
specify.
trouble. Yeah.
I was looking at Scholar of Hawks.
Okay.
Ooh, nice.
So Scholar of Hawks is kind of a peer or a senior to you, a friend, but there's bad blood between them and Dreaming Fall, and I'm guessing that Gonfei doesn't know anything about that.
Yeah.
Which just brings us back around to Gonfei. What do you want to do for your general entanglement?
I suspect blank of evil, but I think it is my friend, or sorry, believes in them.
Okay.
So I was thinking of, I suspect, Perfect Cloud of evil. And should I pick one of us as the person that believes in them?
You could do that. You've also got a Scholar of Hawks there as another possibility.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Works for Black Jade.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I was thinking with you, Brandon.
Black Jade, what is it that you suspect Perfect Cloud of?
So I guess I'm thinking evil.
Or is it just that you have a bad feeling?
I have a bad feeling. Gonfei is so he's so, the poor boy, he's so innocent. So he can't place it, like, to him something evil is not like evil. He hasn't seen evil yet. And so he just has a bad feeling that Perfect Cloud maybe is just a little too perfect, or that he he's just too kind of shadowy. There's something he can't pinpoint that he's always up to. He's always in these secret meetings with these figures he never that Ganfei can never see before he gets like a block away. and he
No, there
gets
was
up
no
and
one
these
here.
figures
I don't know
are
what
gone.
you're talking
Yeah.
about.
And it just seems just something odd, or maybe some of the style that he is learning just doesn't jive with Ganfei.
And so Black Jade, how is it that Perfect Cloud is a friend to you? Like, how did that came about? Did they support you on your time on the road, or are they a friend of a relative, or how does that work?
That's it. I suspect.
That's for Black Jade to
Cloud.
answer.
Right. Okay. And then, but Jade.
Sorry, say that again.
suspects-
Say it again.
Gotcha.
So Black Jade,
Yes.
Perfect Cloud, like they're a positive connection to you. They're a friend to you. How'd that come about?
I think through a chance, so a chance meeting on the road. I think Perfect Cloud is a poet. And I just came upon them as they were reciting, or I looked over their shoulder and I saw what they were writing. And I was just thrilled by the majesty of their verse, and the sweetness of it. And how can anyone with a poet's heart like that be a bad person?
Exactly.
My Black Jade's not sophisticated. I mean, she's she understands like ordinary things, but here in the world of nobility and poetry and all of this constructed beauty and such like that, it kind of stuns her.
Excellent.
She's very much fish out of water.
And then Black Jade, what do you want to do for your general entanglement?
So the grandmother, what's your connection to Ash and Twilight? Have you worked it out?
Ashen Twilight.
That's the one that we said you were trying to
Right.
protect, or like would be the person that you want to kill you, kind of thing.
Right. I think Ashen Twilight is someone someone that people look up to and can actually do some good. And if I can bolster her reputation as, the person who killed Grandmother Venom, that might do well for her reputation. But of course, she has to earn it.
So what do you think, Black Jade?
Let's see. I have. I think I want a connection with Grandmother Venom. It's probably not a good one. I think so. I'm going to kind of splice two of these together, so as not to be too repetitive. Or actually, no, why not? I'll just take it as it is. My sibling, the son of Stone and Wrath, and I were separated at birth, and the grandmother raised them to destroy my clan. My clan was ganged up on basically by their many enemies.
So, grandmother, are you okay with you having an apprentice out there who trained with you, or is that a little too much? What would you like?
An apprentice.
Feel free to say no.
An apprentice who is your sibling.
Well, it's my sibling separated at birth. In fact, I'll go further than that and say my twin separated at birth. I mean, not identical twin, of course,
right?
Just because they're.
She can be my maybe an apprentice that she took on reluctantly.
Well, no, take another relationship, and I'll modify it.
Oh, I see.
So maybe how about this? Let me suggest that let me see how we want to do this. I like what you were saying there, Rod, the idea that maybe this Son of Wrath forced themselves. They were separated at birth from Black Jade. And, at a certain point, they found you and they wanted to be trained in the ways of poison to avenge the family slights. But they may not know the full story about what happened to them.
Sure. That sounds fine.
Yeah. So Son of Wrath, you probably haven't seen him for a while. Maybe you might even be worried that unlike you, who restrained yourself to only killing all the people that you needed to kill, that they might be more wild in their actions.
Yeah, absolutely.
What kind of the general gist is Son of Wrath separated and had training under Grandmother Venom. We'll figure out the rest of that in play.
I'll just say it was trained by Grandmother Venom for nefarious purposes, and find out what that actually is.
Grandmother Venom, what do you want for your general entanglement?
All right. I think it's gonna also tie into that then with Black
Okay.
Jade. I see too much of myself in Black Jade. This whole quest for vengeance, and obviously I'm too old to change, but she's not, and maybe she still has a life out there. And I see that she has romantic interests. Well, I don't know if I see that, but maybe I do. Is there someone, Black Jade, that is at the tournament that you want to kill?
So of course there is.
Okay, so that's the person that NPC is gonna complicate things, because
So who is it that? Yeah, let's start. So first question is, Black Jade, who is it at the tournament that you want to kill? Is that Captain Feng? Or is it somebody? I'm trying to remember who.
Yes, I think so. I mean, that's not to. It's better not to multiply people too much at this point, right? So
Yeah.
Yes, let's have it be Captain Feng.
Okay.
Who I understand is one of the orchestrators of Mind Clans throughout the fall.
So how Grandmother Venom, how does that hatred for Captain Feng, who is older brother to Dreaming Fall, how does that complicate?
right, that does complicate things.
Yeah. Well, actually, it's simple. Captain Feng is also a child of. I mean, it's
Right.
brother to Dreaming Fall, so it's also somebody that you want to protect, right?
Right. Gosh.
Because that is that connection to your your one true love in the past.
I think the difference is that Dreaming Fall looks exactly like the guy I fell
Okay.
in love, and I think I met Captain Feng and he's a jerk.
Yeah, okay.
So I don't really care about him as much. Right. Yeah, if we can say that'd be cool. I want to keep Black Jade from walking the path I did.
Yeah, it's not necessarily that you want to save Captain Feng. It's that you don't want Black Jade's soul to become corrupted like your own.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Perfect. That brings us to Dreaming Fall. What is your general entanglement?
Okay, so I think I'll have one with Grandmother Venom.
Okay.
And so I think you could have saved someone but didn't. And the phrases, I have hidden that my son, brother, well, sister or whatever, friend, Grandmother Venom's inattention caused a tragedy which haunts. And now we have to pick a NPC. And hmm. I mean, it could be the twin or could be the host of the tournament. We've got any
Righteous
ideas?
Jade. So basically what you're saying here is grandmother Venom, to your eyes, let someone die.
Yes.
And you know grandmother Venom, you don't want to say anything about that, but that's impacting. And it may have been that, in fact, grandmother Venom was actually completing their vengeance rather than just letting them die. You may not.
Yeah.
So what role does the NPC have?
So in this case, the role of the NPC is this is someone who was related to the victim that passed.
Mhm.
Would you be okay with that, Rod?
Right. Yeah. So so this person, this NPC is someone that's at the tournament, and
you killed one of their relatives because of your in your vengeance, basically.
and Dreaming Fall is a friend or an associate of this NPC.
Yeah, and Dreaming
Okay.
Dreaming Fall thinks that you just maybe didn't do a good job with healing them rather than actually murdered them.
And I'm actually trying to hide the fact that you were maybe a bit too late or whatever, in my opinion.
Okay.
So what would be most dramatic?
Let me make a suggestion here, because it does tie back in. I think it should be Iron Lion, because we've already established that Iron Lion wants to hunt grandmother Venom.
Perfect.
He's doing that, of course, quietly. He doesn't reveal his knowledge of the thing, and of course, then you have great respect for Iron Lion. Dreaming Fall, you don't know that he's a terrible person, and that that all of this is going on. Does that seem cool?
Yes.
Okay.
Great.
All right. So that gives us our entanglements. We're going to take our first break here. We take 10 minutes for that first break. We're going to come back. I'll talk just a bit about system, and then we're going to get into that initial scene. Okay. So take 10. So, Ganfei, tell me, this family that Righteous Jade, they're a major wuxia family. They're putting on this tournament. What is the big symbol or sign or animal or whatever that is for their family?
I was drawn towards a phoenix.
Oh, okay.
And I just like that. I think that would be a nice look of phoenix under a kind of hollow sun.
So this is the Phoenix Feather tournament. They have crafted brilliant metal feathers for the winners of the different competitions. It is a dueling tournament, but it's also a tournament of arts and of poetry and a demonstration of lightness and all of those things. And the estate that it takes place at is at the top of a mountain. There are several different pathways up the mountain to reach it, but the estate itself rests at the edge of a mountain lake. There's, of course, a little island out in the lake. There's gardens, all of that big estate. We've got all of the classic sets are available to us in this location. So we will take up with, I think, Black Jade and it's going to take me a bit to get character names here, even though we just went through all of these. With Black Jade and Dreaming Fall. Like when you ran into each other traveling up the mountain, along one of these pathways. How long had it been since the two of you had seen each other? Was it recently? Was it a while ago? What do you think it is? What do you think, Brandon?
I think Dreaming Fall. I think it's been recently, and because I think Dreaming Fall is the most beautiful person I've ever seen. And I just, I was thunderstruck by them on first encounter. And I've been diligently trying to conceal that.
Now, do you know that Captain Feng is related to Dreaming Fall at this point?
No.
Okay. And Dreaming Fall.
How could such a beautiful person be connected with that monster?
A monster. Dreaming Fall, when you met Black Jade, I mean, you come from a cultured wuxia family, but this is a striking woman, but perhaps not from the same circles that you come in. But what was your first impression of Black Jade when you first met her?
So I think I immediately noticed her sword and the way she was carrying it, and that really impressed me because she was handling it with real care.
And so we're going to come here, and I'm about to describe where the two of you are at. But first, let me remind you, we have lines and veils. I should have said this before. Let's quickly walk through what we have established as our lines and our veils for the play today. We have a line on epidemics, homophobia, sexual assault, and torture by the PCs. And then we have an ask first marked on harm to children. If that would be brought up, we're going to stop and check in before we do that. A few things I want to say mechanically. Generally, when you go to do a move, you'll get to choose what element you want to roll with. So you'll think about what your mood is and so on. The exceptions are, if you're rolling for a fighting move, like deal with troops or duel, you always roll your style element. And then inner conflict is the move that happens when you're confronted by the pain and turmoil of your entanglements. And you cannot roll your style move when you roll that. Just to remind you of that. The other mechanical thing I wanted to mention is a study. Just because it's often important to keep in mind, because this is a little bit different than other PbtA games. Other PbtA games have lists of questions. We have a study move. It does the same sort of thing, generate, hold, to ask questions, but we don't have a list of questions. You can ask about a person. You can ask about a situation or a thing. You can ask about a person's scale. A person's scale is their scale relative to you in terms of fighting. If they are above your scale, you need to figure out a way to get them down to your scale, or else when you fight them, you're going to lose. That is the way that works. The last thing that you can do with study is you can spend that hold to declare things, to declare facts, to declare that, no, in fact, this person is actually an assassin, as we had in one of the early things when Fraser decided that his sister had secretly been trained to murder him. That was one of the first study moves. So that's out there, just so you know, because I always think information moves and things, we always forget about those when we're going along. So Black Jade, Dreaming Fall, what is it about this plateau that you hit? There are more paths going up. There are some people there. They've got some carts that have broken down. There are some people sitting off to the side drinking. What is it that, like, what's the reason why you have to stop here? Black Jade, what has made you, is it exhaustion? Have you been traveling for a while? Is it the scenery? Is it something else?
Yes, no, it's no, I can, I come from sturdy stock. I could walk forever. No, it is, I am thunderstruck by the view. The mountain, the way the valley and the mountains go, it is you know, it would break a painter's heart to stand here and look out on this vista, knowing they could never capture the majesty of this, no matter what. If they sat here and devoted a lifetime, you know, painting one canvas after another, you know, they would, by the time they died, they would only have gotten a tiny bit fragment of it.
And during fall, you'll see that. You'll see Black Jade looking off into the distance, this vista. And one of the people who's standing there comes over to you and says, "Oh, gentle lord, Dreaming Fall," they say, "you should probably not wait here too long. It will be cold soon. Night will fall. If you wish to reach the tournament grounds, you and your companion should head on now." It kind of looks at you, Dreaming Fall, like expecting an answer.
Yeah, and I realize probably that my family and my brother is waiting for me, and so I call to Black Jade and say, we'll probably have a much better view at the top of the mountain, so we should get going.
She bows her head and closes her eyes and you know, wipes gently at one of them and goes, "You know, of course you're right. I'm so sorry. I've never been any place like this. It's magnificent." And she visibly gathers herself and tears herself away from this amazing view. But she is at least mollified to a certain degree by the fact that she gets to look at Dreaming Fall.
Absolutely. And the two of you will gather your things and start up. And as you're doing that, Dreaming Fall, you see an arrow land by the cart. Maybe it was fired from up above or down below. It's hard to tell. But you see one of the people by the cart grabs it up very quickly, looks at something, and kind of nods, and you see everybody else around all kind of nod back. We'll come back to you in just one moment. Ganfei, how is it that you cross paths with grandmother Venom? Where did you meet up that now the two of you are traveling up this mountain together?
I think on the on the road, I think we may have crossed paths before, you know, just very casually. But I think on the road, and it's nice to see a familiar face, and he of course will always offer grandmother assistance, like, you know, getting up and down off a cart or walking. Like, do you need an arm, grandmother? Knowing dang well the viewers know that the grandmother is probably more hale and hearty than Ganfei.
Yes.
but he does, you know.
So, grandmother Venom, did you expect to see Ganfei traveling to the tournament? Is this a surprise that you've seen him? And what's your reaction here?
I'm gonna assume he's a poet and he's here to do, you know, the tournament of poetry, not a fighter. I think I do have the son of stone, you know, lugging my stuff, but I accept any help, you know, if Ganfei offers help, I take it.
So Stone of Wrath, he's unusual. He keeps his mask on. He doesn't say a word the whole time you're traveling. Ganfei kind of keeps to himself, but keeps himself a little ways away from grandmother Venom there as well. Grandmother Venom, are you a pleasant traveling companion, or are you a grumpy traveling companion? What do you like on the road?
Oh, I think my resting face is this huge smile. I'm always smiling.
Yeah, so you're a cheery person, and the two of you plus Stone of Wrath are making your way up, and you can see that you're just about to reach this plateau. You can see some figures in the distance. You'll see it looks like somebody's couple of carts have broken down. And I think from where you're at, you can see that they're actually carrying coffins up the mountain on the back of these carts. And you're moving up there. So that's your position. Sort of you're below the plateau. Black Jade and Dreaming Fall are just starting up to leave the plateau. Dreaming Fall, you've seen this arrow thing happen. What do you do?
I call out to Black Jade and say, watch out, it might be a trap.
And very openly shouts that out, and you'll see the people around on the plateau look like suddenly like that's not and you see that people are gripping their weapons when he shouts that out. What do you do, Black Jade?
Instinct makes me put my back right to Dreaming Fall. And Dawn and Dusk jumps into my hand practically.
Yeah.
It's such a flowing motion. It scarcely seems to happen. And she takes up this odd stance, which is with the sword held back and her left open palm held forward, as if it was a shield.
The two of you have kind of started up that path, but then stopped with the shouting out. Dreaming Fall, you just have your umbrella, so you look like you're just a normal person there, though.
Yes.
Hand out, blade out. Grandmother Venom, you and Gonfei are just kind of cresting the thing. When you hear this voice shout out, watch out, it might be a trap. What do you do, Grandmother Venom? You see in the distance Dreaming Fall, Black Jade, who you kind of know, but you'll see a couple of carts with coffins in it. You'll see a group of people over here sitting and having a cup of tea, and then some other people around it. And if nothing had been said, they would have just looked like normal, laborers and such. But now you can see the weapons that they have hidden away in various places. What do you do, Grandmother Venom?
Oh, I book it. I drop, whatever I might be carrying, and I just speed up the hill impossibly fast.
Okay, so you will essentially shed your pack that Sinister and Wrath will grab as you shoot forward, lightness up towards this first group that are getting ready to draw weapons. Gonfei, what do you do? Grandmother Venom took off.
And Noel, you were describing that the people with the coffins are the ones producing weapons, correct?
Yeah, though the other people across the way who are drinking, they've put their teacups down like you're also suspicious of them.
Yeah, he doesn't even realize that Grandmother Venom took off so fast. He's paying more attention to that group, and shouts at, behind me, Grandmother. She's not even there. He unfurls the sword and snatches it in his hand and stands at the ready.
So what we will see is this: is the group drinking the tea. When they see Grandmother shoot past, they see you coming up, Gonfei. That group rushes over to intercept you. Even as Grandmother comes running up, the people who are standing by the carts will rush away towards Dreaming Fall and Black Jade, as if to maybe cut off them from coming in. And there's a whistle, and the tops of these four coffins will explode, and you will see these two pairs of fighters. One of them carrying the wind and wheel, those steel circles, paired up, come landing down, and another pair with whips. And it's very clear to you, Grandmother Venom, that these people are here for you. Two groups of troops, and two pairs of warriors who are nasty. But Black Jade, you had just drawn your blade when suddenly these troops come forward. You see this exploding. You see Grandmother Venom and Gauntlet appear on the scene miraculously. What do you do, Black Jade?
Charge.
Okay, who do you want to engage?
What are my who is in front of me?
So we've got this group of troops that were by the carts that are clearly rushing over to like block you and Dreaming Fall from getting involved in this.
Them then.
Okay, then you will rush to engage those troops. Dreaming Fall, what do you want to do?
Yes. I shout to Dreaming Fall, they'll not harm you. And then charge, just screaming charge, yelling a battle cry.
Dreaming Fall, do you want to engage another group? Do you want to follow up behind? Do you want to hold position? What would you like to do?
I think I follow Black Jade, and while doing that, I try to assess the situation.
Okay. Then we're going to come back to the study roll. I just want to kind of get a pair up of this. Gauntlet, are you okay with the engaging these troops that are coming running towards you?
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
So we got that.
He's ready. He screams out, "You should have just stayed and enjoyed your tea, brothers."
And they're shouting and running at you. And Grandmother Venom, these four will spread to move to encircle you.
Oh, I stop running then. I'm now that I see that they're after me and not any of the others. I just kind of stay there and laugh.
All right. So Dreaming Fall, let's start with you with that study move, and then we'll kind of work our way around to resolve some of this. So what do you want to roll study with?
Okay, let's see. And I can pick any
stat you want.
elements.
Now,
Okay.
why wouldn't you always roll with your best stat? Because when you roll with a stat, you put it at risk of getting it marked, which you can't roll with it again. Here is the roller, but you are also welcome to roll your own dice at home.
I think I'll roll with Earth, and that's because I still got my umbrella on my shoulder, and I tried to keep up with Black Jade, but while doing that, I stopped for a brief second and tried to identify who those people actually are, if they've got like any symbols or colors on them or special weapons,
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's have you roll.
I'll roll at home, and that's in total a 5.
That is a 5. So I think that we see you go forward, and even as Black Jade is engaging with those troops, you see that one of those two pairs that there's there, one of the pairs like sees you, says something, and moves to engage you.
Ooh.
Okay. So they will do that. Black Jade, these troops are on you, simple weapons and such, but they're surrounding you. This is a deal with troops move.
Yes.
Go ahead and roll with your style element.
Yes, and my style element is fire.
Okay.
So here it goes. 11.
So tell me what that looks like. Like, what do we see? Of course, imagine that we've got carts, we've got coffins, we've got cliffs. What do we see happen here?
Carts, coffins, cliffs. I love it. So they try to surround. They try to surround Black Jade, and they come at her from both sides of the carts. And she parries a shot from one of them, and the other one tries to lunge with a spear from behind a cartwheel, and she swings Dawn and Dusk, and it goes through the cart and cuts him in half.
Absolutely. A few more swicks of the blade, and most of those troops are laid out or are running back down the mountain. Ganfei, you are dealing with those troops that are coming down, trying to block from the lower side. Let's have you roll.
I'm gonna use earth.
Is that your style element?
My style element is wood, but
Then you should roll with wood because you are fighting.
yeah, okay. Risking it.
Yes.
So we get a +2, and we get that is an 8 altogether.
That is an 8. So you don't look spectacular like Black Jade does, but tell me what that looks like when you take out this other group of troops. They've thrown down their cups. They've rushed you. It looks like they're trying to like push you off the edge.
Mm-hmm. I think the Ganfei started off looking slick. You know, he's kicking up stone and smacking it with his 9-ring sword to bat a few as basically volleying a few, and then he dives into the middle, a lot of kicks and slashes, and he has yet to cut anybody with the swords. It's a lot of blunt end attack, but I think the numbers get a bit in the way of him. So it's a lot of, after looking slick, tripping and falling over a few. Some are starting to get advantage, so he has to fight prone, and swing his way up.
Well, you've definitely pushed them, gotten control pretty much of the situation there. Grandmother Venom, one of these pairs is still surrounding you, but the other has headed off. It looks like to attack Dreaming Fall. What do you do? Let's say it's the two whip warriors that are around you. That's that sort of crack with the metal whip, and they're trying to keep you in place.
Right. Since they're trying to probably keep me at a distance with their longer range whip, I'm gonna like reach into my satchel, and you can tell me if I need to roll that I have this. But I think I have like a glass container that's kind of shaped like a frisbee or disc.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna throw it at one of them, and inside are tiny scorpions that will.
So this is more to like, you're using this to disrupt their formation, kind of to split up their attack, or are you doing this more as a directed attack, you think?
I think this is, I think this the scorpions are poisonous and will do damage.
Okay, then you will need to roll duel with this. They are on your scale, both of them.
All right.
If you were using a more conventional weapon, they might even be above your scale, but I think no one is prepared to have scorpions thrown at them.
Right. Okay, so I guess I just rolled 2d6 with my combat stat, correct?
That's correct.
All right. Roll with me.
So that is an 8. So when we look at the duel, they're on your scale. You could win at a cost by marking an element, letting them escape, or you kind of do this a little humiliated in this. You could lose and mark XP, or you can deadlock, and the two of you are locked up together right now.
If I mark an element, it can be any element.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I'll do that.
Okay. What element are you going to mark there?
Wood, because when I see Dreaming Fall, I'm not very patient. That this is going to take a while.
So you are up with them, and you do maybe get a little overconfident, but you are able to strike. And this first of the pair that were facing you kind of cries out as the scorpions bite in and will collapse the ground. There's still that other of the pair with the whips that's by you. Dreaming Fall, you will see these two with these circular metal rings with the edges on them come rushing at you. Like they've clearly, like you the one who called out the trap. They're clearly going to take care of you. So what do you want to do?
Yeah, it's probably time to fight as well.
Absolutely. You want to engage them?
Do I have to know their scale?
You do not have to know their scale, but if it turns out that they're above your scale, then that's how the situation rolls out. However,
Yeah.
I will say you saw Grandmother Venom kind of take on the pair, and one of them fell, crying out something about scorpions. Not sure what happened there.
Yeah, so I just engaged by opening my umbrella and trying to stay a bit put and not moving too much for the moment.
Then let us have you roll duel.
So that's a 7.
That is a 7. So do you want to win at a cost? Do you want to lose? Or do you want to deadlock here? You deadlock, you get to ask a question or declare a detail.
Oh yeah, that sounds fun.
Okay, so what is it like? I imagine it's that you get your umbrella up and they both got there's wind and moon wheels up, and they kind of catch onto your umbrella, and you're fighting back on that. What is it you want to know, or what fact do you want to declare about the situation?
But Jade is behind them.
I mean, I think they're from my family. They serve my family.
Yeah, I think that you will see that you recognize them behind. They probably have that kind of wrapped on mask and so on, but you like look and you like know them.
Yeah, there's like a scar on one of them, and that's very noticeable.
Yeah.
And they're obviously kind of henchmen of the Glorious Cloud Sect.
Yeah, which is shocking. Why are they attacking you? What is going on? I think you are surprised by this. Let's come back to Black Jade. Black Jade, you will see. You've dispatched your troops. You see Ganfei is finishing off the troops that have blocked him. Grandmother Venom is like, and when I say Grandmother Venom, I imagine you don't know her as Grandmother Venom, but
No.
just grandmother. Grandmother, like one of the people that was attacking her has fallen. There's another one still there with a big steel whip. But then there are two of these guys that have a hold of Dreaming Falls. He was fighting with an umbrella.
I couldn't care less about any of them except the ones attacking Dreaming Fall. Honestly, I utter a curse and move into
Okay, then they
try
are
to show them the error of their ways.
They're on your scale. They're kind of locked up there. Let's have you roll duel.
Eight.
That is an 8. So you have the choice to win at a cost.
I will win at a cost.
Okay, what cost do you want to pay there?
I think I'm going to. I'll mark an element.
Okay.
And I think I think I'm not showing any caution at all.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I you're up, you rush in, your blade's out, pulls back away from being locked up with Dreaming Fall, gets his thing up. There's that clash of blades there. He gets one good cut. Like, what is the blow? What is the finishing blow that you deal to him?
Yeah, he gets in a good cut to my left hand, which I use as a blocking thing. It's a very strange thing. But I sideswipe it in, but he cunningly turns it, and he gets a slice across my left arm. And I look down at the blood, as it drips down, onto the ground for a moment. And then there is, and then this roundhouse, I do this roundhouse uncoil with the weapon flicking out at the last minute, and it shears his blade right in half.
Cuts through it. He staggers back. We see the blood as broken pieces have hit him in the face. He staggers back. Ganfei, there are just two enemy warriors up. One engaged with grandmother, and another engaged with the beautiful umbrella of Dreaming Fall.
Friend and grandmother. I've got to go after. She's in trouble. So I think he impulsively is just diving towards this person to
Absolutely.
to break them apart.
So is your intent to duel with them, or are you just trying to like overcome and kind of push them out of the way? You're trying to control the situation.
Yeah, push them out of the way.
Then that's overcome to get control of where they are.
And that is also with the fighting style.
You now this you can roll with whatever you want.
Okay, I think I'm going to do that with his earth this time.
Okay.
Influencing his presence. He's kind of puffing up a bit. How dare you lay hands on this sweet grandmother? Villain. We'll do that. That's a +1. Oh no.
So I think as you come in to do that, you're rushing too fast, and he grabs the whip, spins it around, grabs your foot, pulls, and flips you, fly through the air, and now you come down and you are hanging off the edge of the cliff. It is a 200-foot drop down below. There's a raging river down there. Suddenly you've just barely grabbing on. Grandmother Venom, what do you do?
Oh, yeah. If the other whip person's occupied with Ganfei, I'm gonna take advantage of that and strike. Fast.
You don't even care that Ganfei is clinging at the edge of the thing. But you're going to finish the matter, right?
Well, I can't save him if we're in danger of attack. Being practical here.
Absolutely. Grandmother, roll duel.
9.
Now, here is the thing. All of you will have 2 bonds. You can have a bond with a person from each of your entanglements. So you get 2 of those. And you can always burn bonds to help yourself. So you could burn a bond to give yourself a +1 on that if you wanted to do this awesomely. Or we could go to the deadlock or the win at a cost. What would you like, grandmother?
Yeah, I'll burn a bond. So we start off with 2.
Yeah, you'll choose choose one person from each of your entanglements to do that.
Right. I'm going to burn a bond with now, what does that symbolize, though? Like burning.
Basically, it's just that you have friends, you have connections, and you're drawing on the energy of that. For example, Dreaming Fall is in the scene.
Right, I'll do that.
You could do, yeah, have that, and essentially you burn that bond. So what does that look like when you, like, how do you drop this other guy who, just whip tossed Ganfei towards the cliff?
Oh, I charge, and when the whip person notices I'm coming, they lash out at me, and I just like, I'm really short, but I just like practically crawling almost on the ground,
Okay.
because like I just like bend and do these sweeping strides without losing momentum until I'm up to them, and then I'm just gonna stab them
Okay.
through the heart with a sharpened staff.
Yeah. Staff comes, a catch. They'll stagger back. A Ganfei, they fall over you. Down the cliff there, and you see grandmother Venom standing there with this bloodied stick in her hand now.
To dispatch you.
Dreaming Fall, there's only one person left. This other person with the wind and fire wheel, who's kind of locked onto your umbrella. Black Jade's cut down one. Grandmother Venom has sent that other one, but Ganfei is fingernail grip kind of. What do you want to do?
Think I'll rush over to Ganfei.
Okay, gonna try and hoist him up
Yeah.
off of. Okay, that's overcome. What's at risk? Your potential cost is that this guy may cut you as you go past. So
Yeah.
what do you want to roll that with?
So it's definitely not cautious and definitely not controlled. I think it's fire, because
Okay.
I on the one hand, I try to be fast, and there's also like a hidden passion for Ganfei.
Mm-hmm.
So, oops, I just dropped one die. And let's see how it goes.
Okay.
Oh yeah, that's going well. So I've rolled a 10.
10. So you get the umbrella in his face, and then you've leapt lightness over. This guy's stabbing at the air where you were, and you get over there and can grab onto Ganfei's wrists and pull him up back onto the cliffside. Black Jade, you see this other guy who is fighting Dreaming Fall. Looks like he is getting ready to use his own sort of Lightfoot to flee the scene.
I do not desire that he do. I mean, I pause a moment and put a hand on my heart when I see Dreaming Fall rescue Ganfei, and sigh. But then I do not desire that this miscreant leave without paying price.
Then please,
or at least Dawn
yeah.
or maybe it is the Dawn and Dusk won't let me.
Oh, interesting. The blade without just kind of comes out. Let's have you roll duel.
All right. That's a 9.
So that is a 9. May I offer as a cost?
Yes.
That well, you might have wanted to like question him. I think that your blade doesn't care for that kind of thing.
I think it doesn't. But may I narrate his
Sure.
demise? So he has seen Dawn and Dusk, cut through metal as if it wasn't there. And so he is being wary, and he is backing off, and And at a certain point, I put out my left hand, my bloodied left hand, and he takes a fateful step back, and he just falls right off the cliff.
And there'll be that
And I
Wilhelm scream as he
Yes.
goes down. And then I think there's the only sound is the sound of these hireling troops, the others that are kind of getting up. Some of them are running away. The others are nursing, broken ribs and stuff. And the four of you will see each other. What do you say, grandmother?
I'm just gonna look I'm just gonna look, I'm not gonna say anything. I'm just gonna shove the bloody stick into the ground and use the dirt to clean it off, the blood, and shake it off. Yeah, I can't really show that I care too much.
Okay. Ganfei, you're a little more talkative. What do you say that this had sort of turn and now you see some old friends? And
Yeah, I definitely like embrace Dreaming Fall, lifting him up, and I said, "Oh, thanks, brother." And I look around and I said, "What an interesting afternoon this would have been." And after I put Dreaming Fall down, then I run to grandmother Venom and I say, "Grandmother, are you okay? Did these bandits hurt you?"
No, they did not.
Oh no, I see. And he kind of balls up his old road-worn clothes and he says, "This blood, your leg, grandmother."
Oh, it's not my blood.
Oh, okay. Oh, good.
Stay there. I'm gonna try to collect my scorpions.
Just oblivious. It's like, oh, okay.
Dreaming Fall, what you've seen Black Jade fight, you've seen these friends here. What are you saying?
So first of all, I'm speechless, getting hugged by Gunfei, and I blush. And then when he leaves, I'll probably return to Black Jade and say, "Good thinking. You were pretty quick."
Oh, please think nothing of it. Those people were not worthy to touch the hem of your robe. And she says her heart's pounding. But she conceals. She keeps a very impassive face while she says this.
Are you hurt?
Oh, no, not I. Oh, I'm sorry, she says, looking down at herself. I didn't notice during the fight. One of them seems to have cut me. It's of no matter. Please forgive me. And she looks embarrassed. Then starts to kind of awkwardly wrap it up with the piece of cloth fetched out of her robe.
Luckily, we've got a healer with us.
Do we? Oh,
Yeah, that nice little woman over there.
I didn't know. Ganfei, how remarkable to see you here at this time. I didn't realize that was you who almost fell. Glad I am it didn't happen.
So am I, Auntie. Were they here for you? Were these bandits trying to rob us?
These were no ordinary bandits, but they attacked grandmother and they attacked Dreaming Fall, and I cannot say who was their intended target. I confess that once the fighting started, I lost track of exactly what was going on.
And I think there'll be the sound of kind of crunching and movement, and the four of you who are talking there will kind of look up, and you will see coming down the road from above, you will see a group of warriors in the outfits of this Phoenix Feather tournament, and you will see Righteous Jade, as well as Iron Lion, and with some relief, during fall, you'll see your brother, Captain Fang, and they are all kind of coming down, and Righteous Jade is sort of leading this procession, and he's directing the troops, and he says, "What has happened here? What has happened here? Dreaming Fall."
So I want to make it clear that I'm lying to him.
Absolutely.
Because I'm aware that kind of my family is involved, but I'm not mentioning it to him.
Okay.
And I say we've been attacked, but luckily we were able to defeat them, and they must have been bandits or someone.
I'm certain that's all that it was. But if there were others, I will send my men to search the mountainside to see if there were other ambushes in place. Your brother, and he will gesture to Captain Feng, was very worried about you when you didn't arrive on time. Black Jade, if I am correct, given what you said earlier, this is the first time that you will learn that Captain Feng is Dreaming Fall's brother, right?
Yes.
This is what we call inner conflict.
Yes. I'm thunderstruck.
So first of all, you get to mark XP. And then I need you to roll inner conflict to see how well you're able to control yourself in this moment.
Okay. It strikes me that this is caution.
Okay.
It could be patience, but I think it's caution.
All right.
To not reveal how I actually feel, and maybe not reveal that I don't know how I actually feel.
Okay.
And
you keep yourself together. Like, this shakes you to your core, but you don't let it show.
I have a lifetime of not showing my emotions that I fall back on, and it is, I cannot. I push it. I simply push it out of my head. This is something that will hit me like a ton of bricks later. Not right now in front of these people. It will not do that.
Absolutely. And Righteous Jade will turn and will say, "You are Gonfei, correct?"
Correct.
Several of your order have arrived earlier. They had mentioned that you were coming. We're worried that you had not arrived.
I just want to take in the scenery here, so I took my time. I'm sorry if I worried anybody.
No, it is all right. I appreciate your acting in the defense of Dreaming Fall. And have we met, honored matron? Righteous Jade will turn to you.
Oh, you invited me.
And how is it that you are known?
Oh.
Do you give the sort of the cover name that you use, or do you give the sort of your legendary name?
Oh, I'm gonna say grandmother, but then I'm gonna pause and I'll lift up, the staff that has this, like, the snake head on it. So, grandmother, and I'll let him figure it out himself.
He says, yes. You were expected. Please, I would not be an adequate host if I did not have my men escort the four of you up to the household to have you seen to fresh clothing, baths, food. I will see to the few who remain here, and we will make sure that nothing else untoward occurs. Is that amenable to all of you?
I'll tell everyone to get onto my cart.
A bow to Righteous Jade and say your generosity is greatly appreciated.
And I suspect this is the first time that Dreaming Fall, Black Jade, you've seen this other masked figure who's kind of been standing at the fringes, comes up with this cart for Grandmother Venom. He looks at all of you and kind of, if Grandmother Venom gets in the cart, he just starts pulling it along.
Oh, I was thinking the cart that the coffins were on.
Oh, the coffins are on. Okay, then yeah. So that you can take charge of those. You can clear away the broken coffins and head upwards towards the tournament grounds. Let's take 5, and then we'll come back and get a sense of what the place looks like. Maybe do some NPC scene calling and do some connections that way. Sound good? Okay. So take 5. So I imagine when you get up to the grounds of the tournament and the estate stuff, it is a moment of kind of wonder. There are all these different factions and clans and groups that are around, and whatever misgivings you have and worries and so on are probably circumstances here kind of pull you away from that for a bit. So you would like to have a conversation, perhaps like have a talk at that moment to about what has happened. You're kind of pulled in several different directions. And we're going to kind of move forward a little bit. My plan is to do this. I want to do a little bit of montage with each of you, and then I want to let each of you have a chance to kind of call a scene. But let's start with this. This question is, Gonfei, what competition are you entering into, or are you asked by your brethren to participate in? Is it feats of strength? Is it lightness? Is it combat? Is it something else? What is it?
I think it's like precision.
Okay.
With it's proving that our style of such a big, ostentatious looking sword can be slight and as delicate as say like the Tai Chi swords.
Absolutely. And how do you do? Do you do well?
I think he does. I think he does very, very well at this. It's probably the only time he focuses in. Everything else is so wide, so this is the only time he really can quiet his ever curious mind.
Do you do better than Ash and Twilight, who's also participating in this?
I think knowing Gunfei, he would, to say he'd throw the contest is so dirty. I think he holds back.
Okay, and maybe he tells himself he holds back, but maybe it's sort of the shock of her standing there and watching you compete.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. As I said, it's his only time that he can focus. But then seeing Ash and Twilight, of course, the world leaves him.
And I do think that when you do your strike, I do think there's a quizzical look on Ash and Twilight's face. Like she looks like maybe a little surprised, like but maybe you'll have a chance to talk with her soon. Black Jade, what kind of competition are you participating in here?
So there's all kinds of competitions, right? They're not just martial.
They can be martial ones. There's physical challenges. There's demonstrations of style. There's poetry.
I think that's what it is. It's the competition is one of spontaneous poetry. In other words,
Okay.
the judge throws out a subject and you must compose something extempore. This, to fox anybody who's prepared anything. It's like,
Mhm.
this morning I saw some sawgrass growing by the side of the road. Give me a poem on sawgrass, and
And is this like what were you selected to be in this, or did you choose to participate in this?
no, I was kind of just grabbed and said, we need another one for the tournament in poetry. It's like, can you
And-
speak? Good,
And we see the various poets there. Some of them speak extemporaneously, just present. Some of them throw paper into the air, and then with a brush they write their poems on the pages as they fall. It's amazing, and I think though that the perfect cloud kind of comes over and says, "You'll be fine. You'll be fine." There are a few here. You'll see that do not have the art or the wisdom that you have. And how do you do, Black Jade? What do you speak on, and how do you do?
What do I speak on? I speak about a perfect cloud. No, I'm going to speak about Dreaming Fall, but it's disguised.
Okay.
I'm going to it's a two-part poem.
Mhm.
One is about dreams and the other is about autumn. And
you think you're very
discerning,
subtle, yes.
well, no, I mean it's
Right,
a little
right,
more,
yeah.
it's a little more elusive than that. But
Mhm.
if you thought about it, it's it's an image of leaves, that perceived in a it's just, and the words just come out. And this is not fancy, overblown language. This is the language of someone who has, had to, who has had to gather woods as the cold winter winds, threatened to come in early, and who dreamed of spring again once the winter had turned, the killing winter that sometimes ends life, but that if perseverance could possibly get through. But she has Dreaming Fall in her mind the entire
Right.
time.
And I think while you won't take certainly the first prize, your sincerity speaks to the judges, and I think certainly you will be given a medallion to mark this out. And I do think that Perfect Cloud comes over and he's like, "Well, someone made an impression on you."
I could
No.
not have. I think if you had not spoken to me before the competition, I would have opened my mouth and nothing would have come out. And then I look embarrassed and stare down at the ground.
No worries. Grandmother, are you participating in any of these contests here? You definitely get hostile stares from a number of participants and so on throughout this, but are you competing in anything?
I have been asked to be a judge
Oh,
for the cooking competition, which I know is just a ruse because they're going to try to poison me.
right.
So I'm looking forward to that and seeing, if I can identify the poison, which dish it is.
So how does it go? Like, what is the scene we see? Like, is it that are you taking them knowingly? Are you taking an antidote? Like, what do we see happen here? As they're increasingly frustrated that you're not keeling over.
Oh, I think I think I've been preparing for this, taking antitoxins, but I also have a cup that has that I can put antidotes on in, if, surreptitiously. And yeah, and when the the contestants come up to me, I give them the hard stare, like to see if they fold or if they give us some clue before I look at the dish. Yeah.
And I think that this has all been very clearly set up, and but there are some good dishes here, and there's at least one person who has no idea what's going on, who is the
winner.
winner. I do think you will note that Son of Stone and Wrath is watching everything and perhaps taking some samples of things.
Oh, I have a question then.
Yeah.
Son of Stone and Wrath. I think I would have picked up that he's the twin of Black Jade, but do I know?
There's a resemblance, but you've maybe alluded to it before, but he avoids the topic. He's like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Do I have a sense of Black Jade knows?
I don't think so.
Black Jade seems oblivious. No, Stone and Wrath is wearing a mask.
Yeah, he's wearing the mask.
So,
You're not sure
yeah.
if Black Jade's ever seen Son of Stone and Wrath without the mask.
I'm gonna ask Son of Stone and Wrath to steal Dusk and Dawn. And we'll see where that goes.
Oh, bow. Dreaming Fall. What kind of contest are you participating in?
So we've had a cooking contest, and we've got poetry. And what was the first one?
We did that sort of test of precision and precise strikes. There are other things like dodging arrows or lightnessing across the tops of poles or dancing. There are all kinds of contests that are going on here.
Yeah, so I think I've been chosen by my family to do something they would do very well. So they're the glorious cloud sect. So maybe it's jumping from high poles to high poles in a fast way while people shoot arrows at you.
Your brother says, I've already taken part in 2 contests, or else I would take this for you. I am sorry, brother.
Of course, brother, I will do my best.
Be very careful. I would not wish to see you hurt. How do you do?
I don't get hurt, but I don't do well,
Okay.
I'd say.
although I think you cut Marla's figure standing on a pole with the umbrella, sort of balancing with the umbrella a little bit, and that's like.
But
Black
but
Jade
maybe,
watches from the shadows.
But maybe not the full technique of the glorious cloud sect who are known to float from pole to pole, or are known to be like a cloud moving away. You're a little more concrete. You're a little more solid than they are. But I think your brother will come over with it. You have improved.
Thank you, brother. I will improve even more.
Do not push yourself too much. And what I would like to do is go around and give a chance before we kind of bring the group together to chat, give each of you a chance to call a scene with another PC or with an NPC, kind of do that. So, Ganfei, what is the scene that you would like to do?
I had a thought that if there's if there's such a big variety of contests, I think one of the things of martial arts is not only do you study how to harm, but also how to heal. And so I think a scene where Dreaming Fall and I are going through, it's almost like not necessarily a contest, but a quiz, because Ganfei is more of, just this up and coming student, and they're kind of in this center where they're, the illustrated figurines of the human body and the meridians and your anatomy. And so Ganfei, of course, had asked Dreaming Fall, like, I'm good at battle, besides almost falling over the cliff. I think I can get better at that, but I need to pass this. I need you to be a model with me. And he's kind of tapping areas on Dreaming Fall's body for the to see if he's in the proper flow.
So Dreaming Fall, there is this bit where you're standing there and there's the gentle touch of Ganfei on your shoulder against the silk, against the meridians. You feel that pressure, that change, the blood rush to your face a little there. Does this feel like a good place for inner conflict roll?
Yeah, I
Okay.
think I'll probably there's some eye contact for a moment, and then I try to avoid it again.
Yeah, it's a lot of where the camera, so you see it a lot in kind of the Korean where the camera slows a lot and there's a little blur on the camera and
turns around, different. Okay, let's what do you want to roll the inner conflict with, Dreaming Fall?
So I'd say wood, because I'm curious where this is going, but
I like that.
Okay, so that's 5.
That is a 5. So let us see here what the most appropriate thing is. I think that, first of all, I need you to mark an element. You can mark an element of your choice.
Okay.
I do think that, like, it's too much. It's too much, and you have to kind of flee the scene, right? What does it look like when it's just like you can't handle that anymore? Dreaming Fall.
I just get very, very nervous and flustered, and I say, "Oh, I'm terribly sorry. I forgot. I promised my brother to meet him, and I shouldn't have been with you here at the moment. Sorry."
It's okay. I have to study this on my own, and I'm so sorry that I involved you in this and took up your time.
And I think as you're coming out, your path is blocked a little bit. You can't quite leave Dreaming Fall, and you will see Scholar of Hawks. And she looks at you and she says, if you bring any harm to Ganfei, you will just do not think of it. I know what your family is really like.
I'm too stunned to speak.
Okay.
I wouldn't dare to say anything to her, because I'm already like really nervous, and I just rush out.
Ganfei, Dreaming Fall rushes out. Scholar of Hawks comes in. Is everything all right?
Yeah, everything's all right, sister. We were studying, and I point to the illustration, and I said, I'm just so worried about this, and I know that Dreamfall is a good friend, and I needed their opinion if what I'm doing is right. They're wiser than me.
Promise me you will be careful around members of the Glorious Cloud sect, even Dreaming Fall.
Oh,
Promise
of
me.
course.
Promise me.
I promise, sir.
She doesn't say more.
Hmm.
Hasn't ever explained her worries about them, but she will nod and she will leave. Black Jade, what scene do you want to call with what NPC? What do you want to do here?
So I mean, if I'm going to call with an NPC,
Or PC, we can also do a PC. Up to
well,
you.
but a lot of my stuff's tangled in with grandmother, and so but I'll leave grandmother to perhaps call the other scene.
Okay.
If she wants to. I think I think the Stone and Wrath tries or even perhaps succeeds in stealing Dusk and Dawn and Dusk.
So it is late in the night. You are perhaps of less status than other participants, so you are given perhaps more distant quarters, private, but still not as nice as others. And let's do an overcome roll here to see like
Right.
how you do, like what point do you catch Son of Stone and Wrath's in?
Absolutely. Caution is obviously the thing.
Mm-hmm. That is a 10. So what is the thing we see on screen that maybe tells us the sword in some way alerts you?
So the she is sleeping on a simple bedroll, and Dawn and Dusk is lying there to one side in its sheath, along with her very few other possessions. And we see a shadow pass before the light, as Stone and Wrath begins to make, and he reaches a hand down towards the sword blade, and the sword partially draws itself with a creak of metal on leather. It just pops an inch or so out of the blade. And Black Jade is instantly awake with a knife in her hand pointed at Son and Wrath's throat.
The door is open slightly. He is in that doorway. He is shadowy and crouched. You see a little bit of smoke roll out from behind the mask as he's reaching towards the blade. What do you do?
The sword wants me to draw it.
Oh yeah.
But I can't let it have its way. Because I don't understand what's happening. So I say to him, who are you? What are you doing? Answer me.
Who are you?
My name is of no importance, but if you must know, it is Black Jade. Why would you come here to steal what I have to steal? And then she realizes, of course, the only possible thing could be interesting.
He sits there. He doesn't say anything,
But
but he doesn't withdraw.
And she kind of lowers her knife from a non-threatening thing, but she doesn't put it away. She looks at this person strangely. It's like, who are you? why, if you have come to embarrass me, I've no need of that. I assure you that this sword is more of a curse and a burden than a prize.
Oh no, I understand your burden quite thoroughly.
She, like Jade, I shake my head and go, yo.
Reaches up. You see him draw that mask off, and there's kind of a rolling smoke, and you see the face of someone who has experimented with poisons, worked with poisons, with caustic substances, with things. You see the person who has done that to perfect those arts to become an instrument of death and vengeance. And he looks so much like you.
Genshi.
Mask goes back on. Do not listen to the sword. And he's gone.
She reaches out a futile hand to try and stop him.
There's just the smoke from
then-
under his skin.
and then she shivers, and just sits blinking, the knife forgotten in her lap, and cannot go back to sleep.
Grandmother Venom, what is the scene that you wish to call? That night, the next day, some other time? Who do you want to interact with? PC, NPC?
Oh boy. I'll take any.
Please come and dissuade me from exacting the horrible vengeance that I have in mind.
All right. So
I think that Sinister Rasp returns to you and says, all he says is, I could not. And then he vanishes out into the night again.
right. So then I'm gonna invite Black Jade to have tea with me.
Get up in the morning, Black Jade, there's a note brought by one of the servants that grandmother wishes to see you to attend on her.
If it's my fate to die ignominiously, I guess it's my fate. So she goes. She says, grandmother, I am happy to wait upon you.
Oh, no. Sit. And
Please, your bones are old. Allow me.
well, if you insist.
I was brought up to respect my elders,
Hmm.
no matter who they were.
That's good. That is good. Then that will make your ears more ready to hear what I have to say.
It's strange that you summoned me because my heart was burning with a question that I had for you, and I couldn't get up the courage to come and speak to you.
Oh, we cannot have you burning and feeling cowardly. Please, what is your question?
I am torn and in need of wisdom. My worst enemy is here. And every fiber in my being cries out for their blood. And yet I have discovered that they are the brother of the most perfect and beautiful person in the world, who to see the slightest disappointment in his eyes would break some part of me that could never mend.
That would not be acceptable then. I would say listen to your heart and follow what will not break it. It is that simple.
But it is not that simple, Graham. The dead have an obligation, and whether I like it or not, I have been made into an instrument for their vengeance. And they will not let me be. I'm afraid that I cannot truly love until I have satisfied them and given up my burden.
Sometimes a burden can be shared or even given to another who might fulfill that burden.
Did you direct your servant to relieve me of mine? She says, putting her hand on the hilt of her blade.
Is your blade your servant or your master?
I don't know. It rescued me in time of need. And it has kept me alive countless times. And now it drives me to complete the circle.
May I see it?
Yes. The blade flicks at as I said, the blade flows out of its sheath like water pouring out of a jar. She takes it and she holds it up to the light. Old, battered, sword, heavy, ungainly, nothing like the beautiful blades that are here in the tournament. And she offers it to you.
I will I'll take it. And I'm gonna do my scholar move of and study it.
Sure.
I will use water for awareness and wisdom. And let's see. To do a 12.
So you have then the 2 hold from the move plus the bonus for your playbook move. So what do you want to know, or what do you want to declare? Now, given that this sword is Black Jade's sort of signature weapon, anything that you would declare, we would confirm with Black Jade.
Cool. So I have 3 questions then. What do I think will put the blade to rest?
Vengeance.
All right. Is it vengeance against a certain person or certain people? Like specific people?
Yes. Members of the people who are involved in the destruction of my clan.
All right. And that was the Glorious Cloud sect. Is that I forget.
Yes.
Okay. And
But I think if I may elaborate, but I think that the sword has focused on Black Jay's vengeance, but it would love to go further than that.
Yes. It wants blood. It wants the sword. The sword is a battle sword and wants to drink blood. It wants it
What's your third question there, grandmother?
wants to be wheeled triumphantly over a field of of corpses.
I will tell Black Jay that I was a learned person in my past life. Is there anything you would like to know of the sword? And I'm passing my last question to you.
Yes. Sometimes it speaks to me. Late at night, in dreams. Other times when no one else is nearby. And I would know, is this the soul of the warrior who wielded it so many generations ago? Is this a demon or an evil spirit that has possessed it? And am I in the service of a malevolent entity? Or is it just what it is? A sword that knows nothing but battle.
I'll run my thumb along the blade to bleed and let some of my blood on it and see what happens.
And I think maybe it's the second time we've seen anything that hints of magic or the supernatural in this, and that the blood is gone, because this blade is vengeance itself. And the bearer, if they have that desire in their heart, that sword will dedicate itself to that.
Right. Oh boy. So I will tell Black Jade that it is yours to put down or pick up. Your vengeance, unlike the blades, is finite. Finite. You have a certain enemy. The blade will not stop just because you wish to stop, unless you put it down. If you wish, I can take it from you now.
I'm not ready to lay it down.
I'm going to cut.
Grandmother.
Yeah, I'm going to cut right there. Dreaming Fall. What is the scene that you wish to call?
So I might have to rely on all of you to see how the story is going, because I think we've got like a little bit more than half an hour left. So my original aim was to get some poison to kill Scholar of Hawks, because my thinking is that my brother sent his henchman, and I have to prove to him that I'm capable, and luckily the Scholar of Hawks also stands in between me and Ganfei. I'm not sure if that's leading towards an interesting.
Let me set
story.
this up.
Yes.
Here. Here's what I'm going to say is there's going to be a moment where in the evening there's feasts that are going on, and various warriors are sent to various dining places, and we're going to have a moment where the four of you are going to be sent to meet and speak with each other. And I think that Grandmother Venom, you are there first, and Dreaming Fall will come second. And I think Grandmother Venom, you can smell it. You smell that Dreaming Fall has poison on his person. He didn't have it with him yesterday. But why does he have that?
Oh man. There's something different about you, Dreaming Fall. Is there something you'd like to tell me?
I didn't think you noticed, but I'm using a different fragrance today. It
Oh,
might be a bit dominant. Sorry about that.
oh, I can definitely smell it. And I started describing a bitter, almost like a lemon, but not used for most recipes.
I think I'm really conflicted at this very moment.
He's like sitting there, and she clearly knows that you have this poison.
Uh-huh.
Are you planning to cook for someone?
Yes, and I rely on you. As you might remember, you could rely back then in the situation with Iron Lion. You were able to rely on me, and now I expect the same of you.
Yeah, of course, if I can help you.
I mean, it would be delicious if an esteemed scholar during this feast might be able to taste just a hint of lemon with their meal.
There it is, Grandmother Venom. Dreaming Fall. Clearly planning on following your footsteps.
Oh.
What do you say to him?
You know, when I hear scholar, I thought like, wait, is he talking about me? So I say, who is this person that you wish to feed?
And I make sure that we're really on our own and look behind my back. It's a scholar of hawks.
She looks relieved at that. Oh, you know what? I will have the winner of the cooking contest prepare a special dish for the scholar, and I will even assist her. I just kind of put my hand out, but I look away. Or actually, no. You know, oh no, I'll take the poison from you just in case. I don't want you to have it.
So Dreamfall, as Grandmother Venom reaches over to clearly pluck the poison out from your pocket, do you let her take it?
Yes, I trust her.
Oh, all right.
And I think then that we hear the sound of footsteps and Ganfei will open and maybe a little bit embarrassed, but you will see Dreaming Fall there.
Mm.
And Grandmother Venom.
Well, he comes running up, and as usual, he's always eating. So he has a big pear, and he's eating. And he smiles. Oh, he says, "Oh, grandmother," and pulls out a pear, hands it to grandmother, and
I'll take it.
And she usually hands a pear to Dreaming Fall, but there's no more there's no more smile. There's a worried expression on his face when he looks around to see if any members of his family are watching. Hands it to Dreaming Fall, and says, Dreaming Fall, I'm sorry, but at least until I'm on my own, I can't be your friend anymore. This is the last gift I give you.
But-
My family does not want me associating with you or the Glorious Cloud.
I understand. And I look at Grandmother Venom, and I said towards her, maybe time will help with the matter.
And so God, you're so evil.
Let me hard frame something here, if I may. I
Kill
think
my
I
sister.
think we're going to see Black Jade come in, maybe a little bit still pondering what happened last night, sit down, and Ganfei, I think, like, you're supposed to eat with him, but I don't think you can. I don't think your heart can bear it, can it?
Hmm.
Think
It
you
can.
will head out, leave the three of them there for the moment.
I think the last thing he'll do is, before saying bye, then, is to hand the pair the last gift, Dreaming Fall, and both of their hands are joined together, holding the pair, because it might be the last time, and sees Black Jade coming in and bows and quickly goes in. Maybe in the background, I see some of my family, and I beelines to them.
So before the three of you can talk, there are servants coming in and putting down food for you. You know, wine, food is placed out. Grandmother Venom, no poison in any of it, but will be placed out. And it's that sort of chaos of now suddenly you're in the middle of being fed, and that kind of chaos. Ganfei, you walk out a ways, and you'll see Scholar of Hawks, and she'll gesture to you.
Shyly running over.
She puts her hand on your shoulder. You need to come away with me now.
It's a look on his face of, oh, did you see me talking to my best friend?
Yeah.
And then he's, oh, what is wrong, sister?
And she starts to draw you away. What is it that tells you of the ambush that is being set up to murder those three in that room? She is drawing you away.
No.
Come with me.
No. There was, since he's so obsessed with food and eating, he even knows the faces of the people running food. And one instant it's gone, and then the next instant, when he comes to join her, and he's looking around of like, oh, did she see me talking to Dreaming Fall? And he looks, and several of the people that are now running food, they look completely different.
Yeah.
And you can even see in the way they move and their stance that these are martial people. They're,
You realize this dining area that you've been sent to is all the way at the furthest end of the estate. There's no one else around. You will see these troops kind of falling into position, and you will see three figures sort of in the distance, kind of lit a little bit by lantern light, approaching. And you can tell that they are getting ready to murder. What do you do, Ganfei? She has her hand on your shoulder.
and he's moving with her until it dawns on him, probably far too late. And he grabs her hand and he says, "Sister, no, something is wrong. There's some sort of mistake. We can't do this. We can't do this to honorable people. We are honorable people." And I'm trying to use my blade heart to speak to her.
Ooh,
And I
very
just
nice.
start recalling things about like, look, no matter what has happened, you remember when we were children, fishing with Dreaming Fall, or you know, the advice that Black Jade has even to you. We can't do this. Must be trivial. This must be some misunderstanding.
Let's have you roll.
Oh goodness.
What do you want to roll this with?
I got to do it with wood. I have to do it with well, let me see if that does make sense though, because let me see some of the qualities of it. With wood, patient growth, curiosity. No, it's got to be with, I think, with passion.
Okay.
In.
And she says,
"Oh no!"
Yes.
So low.
she pauses and she goes, "You're right." And then you feel the blade come through your ribs. Please mark an element as your peer, your sister from your order, stabs you to get you out of the way. Dreaming Fall, because we kind of came in off of your scene to be called. What is the thing here? What is the moment? What is the thing that tells you that something is about to happen, that the circumstances are about to change, that there's clearly an attack coming? What tells you, Dreaming Fall?
I think there hasn't been a refill in a while. So, you know, we've been drinking wine, and usually the servers come and make sure you're always satisfied, and they haven't come. There was some food and everything, but now I get suspicious and I realize those are not trained servers.
And I think that's the point at which you hear the sound of Ganfei crying out in the distance. What do you do? What do you do, Dreaming Fall?
I
You can just look at Black Jade with alarm.
stand up and call out to the others and say, "We're being ambushed. Be careful."
You leap up, stand. You hear a noise outside now. Lanterns are coming on, lights, and you can see the silhouettes. The room that you're in is surrounded. You stand up to ready yourself. Grandmother, what do? You can feel there are troops out there, but there are other malign figures surrounding, figures of power and importance, and you can tell that Iron Lion is out there, as well as his monsters, his creatures who are here to help put you down. You wouldn't fall to the poison. They have to kill you with the blade.
Right. So Iron Lion's not in here. He's outside, I think.
He's outside. Like you're just in the room with with Black Jade and Dreaming Fall, but you know that they're outside surrounding this freestanding dining room that you're in.
Right. So I'm just gonna laugh loud, make sure he hears me. And I'm gonna say, anyone who doesn't want to die, leave now. And bring your coward master, tell your coward master to get in here. And I draw my weapons.
Okay. Draw that out. Black Jade, the sword is now vibrating.
Yes, the sword is out in one hand. and I reach a gentle hand back to Dreaming Fall, and I say, they will not lay hands on you.
You stand up and we'll hear that the sound of the charge. Gonfei, let's cut back to you. Scholar of Hawks has stabbed you. You'll look back and you see those troops moving into position, but you also will see Iron Lion, Perfect Cloud, and Captain Fang there outside getting ready for this attack. What do you do? There may be another, but you're not sure. What do you do?
There is just the shattered heart.
Oh, yeah.
Just weeping. But then I see that because they're coming in more, that's Perfect Cloud. And I say to my sister, I said, you are wrong, sister. I will prove you wrong. And I whip out the 9-ring sword, and I dive over to Perfect Cloud and that group. I know they're above my scale, I assume.
You don't know yet. You have no idea right now. You're wounded, but you're going to leap away from your sister and rush to engage Perfect Cloud. Okay.
And I say, I said, I proved wrong. I know they've corrupted you, and I run to them.
And you'll land. I think your sword will come out. He has this long iron flute, and his wine, and he'll take it and starts pairing with you, and we start to hear the clash of that as you engage. Dreaming Fall, you hear the sound of swords clashing. You know there are troops outside. What do you want to do? Are you heading out? Are you standing here? What are you doing?
I think I'm heading towards Gonfei.
Okay, kind of throw the door open. It looks like you can see Gonfei. You see that he is engaged in a duel with a Perfect Cloud. You will see Iron Lion is there. You will see that Captain Feng is there, your brother. You'll see that Scholar of Hawks is following up with a bloodied blade, has clearly struck Gonfei. What do you want to do? Do you want to try to get past these troops? Do you want to engage somebody? What is it you want to do?
I call out to my brother. So, and I ask, brother, what is this?
Sacrifices must be made for the good of our family.
And I'm totally confused by this.
Let's have you roll inner conflict to see
Yes.
if you can keep yourself together here. What do you want to roll it with?
I'll roll it with fire.
Okay.
His passion in me for Gonfei, and that's a 9.
There's a 9. So you can mark an element of your choice and do what you want, or you're going to have to fall back like the situation is too much for you. You have to abandon your friends.
No, I won't do that. I'll mark fire, and
Okay.
I open my umbrella to protect Gonfei.
Okay, so you move over by Gonfei. So I think what we will see is then probably Scarlet Hawks is moving to intercept you at that point. So we can see those pairings going on. Black Jade, I think you're the most sort of hot-headed of the two that are left in the room.
Yes.
There's are you heading out?
I head out. I say, Ganfei, no, because I think he's making you're making a terrible mistake. And then I turn and I go, found.
Time to finish this.
Yes.
You worthless wielder of a blade that is better than you are.
And better than you are.
Oh, nice. And he raises up his steel fan. The
Right.
spikes will come out, and he will move to engage with you. Grandmother Venom, what do you do?
I just clear the table in front of me with one of my staves, and I point the other one at Iron Lion, and I say, I want to kill you first. Come on, you scrawny little mangy little beast.
Ooh, getting called little by a 4.5-foot woman.
And he says, in time, Righteous Jade, kill her. And you will see Righteous Jade, long saber out, leaps out of the darkness, comes through the doorway, and moves to strike at you. Iron Lion doesn't have to dirty his hands with you. He'll make you fight his minions first. So let's resolve these pairings, these duels. These 4 are on each of your scale. So let's start with Ganfei and Perfect Cloud. It's Iron Flute versus 9-ring sword. He's trying to catch the flute through the rings, to pull the sword away from you. There's that battering back and forth. At one point, he'll splash the wine in your face, and he's faster than you would have thought. So let's have you roll duel.
Okay. That up and let's see what we got. These dice don't like me today. I got a 6.
You got. Now you have bonds, right?
Yeah, I could spend a bond because I'm basically trying to defend you in a way.
Yeah, if you have a bond with Ganfei, you can burn that bond to give him a +1.
I'd like to do that.
Okay, so that'll take you to 7. So you can win at a cost, you can deadlock, or you can lose. What do you want, Ganfei, in this battle against this killer poet here? The one who has constantly lied to Black Jade to your face.
I think it's a win at a cost.
Okay. So what do you want the cost to be?
I think sorry, is it I got mixed up. I got too passionate. Is it a fictional loss or a cost to an element?
And we can do it either way, or I
Okay.
can suggest something.
I was thinking, because Dreaming Fall and I are together, the umbrella open, there's this dance, that's both attacking and protecting Scholar of Hawks' king, and Perfect Cloud is here. So it's Ganfei attacking Cloud, but then he'll move and switch places with Dreaming Fall to push her back, push Scholar of Hawks back. So it's both like, I'm going to stop him. No, don't attack her. She's being confused. Damn, I hate you. So they're going back and forth, and I think that the cost is I give in order to strike down Perfect Cloud, I give Dreaming Fall an opening with my sister Scholar of Hawks to also help deliver a blow to her.
All right. So the blow will be worse than perhaps Dreaming Fall intended. Dreaming Fall, even as there's a pushing this fall, this forcing back and forth, Ganfei, see Ganfei finally land that blow on Perfect Cloud, but you're more absorbed that now is the chance it can cut down Scholar of Hawks. Roll it.
So that's a 10.
That is a 10. Tell me what that looks like. Like, how do you strike her down?
So I've got Divine Sky Sword,
Uh-huh.
and I think we'll just move it up to the rooftop,
Okay.
and obviously we're both able to jump very high,
Right.
and climb that, and it's night, there's a huge moon, you know, and
Yeah.
typical, and she really tries to come fast at me, and I obviously have got my umbrella open, and when she is opening a spot, then I'll strike her down, and she falls off the roof.
And she falls into your arms, Gonfei, and it's your fault.
Yeah, the moment of joy of striking down perfect
Yes.
cloud is gone.
You couldn't save her. Black Jade. You are facing up against Captain Fang. The fan striking back against your blade, which is vibrating. Let's have you roll duel.
I am going to invoke the Prodigy move.
Okay, good time to do that.
Yes, so I can roll a third die. And that is a 10.
That is a 10. Tell me, what is it like? What is that finishing blow that gets past Fang's defenses, that strikes him down?
This is a ferocious fight. Fang is terrific, you know, skilled and able to dodge, whereas the other people have not, and the war fans are, you know, a continual menace, and only the fact that the blade itself seems to block of its own accord saves Black Jade. And finally, he pushes her up against a cornice of rock, and she stumbles.
Yes, I have you now.
And he laughs. And he laughs, and in fact, she stumbles, and Dawn and Dusk, her hand strikes against the stone, and Dawn and Dusk falls out of her hands and onto the ground. And he goes, "I have you now." And she advances on her, and she goes, the dead cry out for vengeance and will not be silent until it is achieved. And the sword shoots out by itself and impales him.
Staggers back, takes a look at you, like looks down at that, and then maybe one glance up at Dreaming before he falls dead to the ground. Grandmother,
Yeah.
are you gonna just try and move past Righteous Jade? Are you gonna engage him to show what you can do? What are you gonna do?
I'm gonna stab the staff that I was pointing at Iron Lion. I'm just gonna stab into the table. You know, it shudders a little. I'm gonna reach into my bag and I'm pull out a blow gun. But it's a special one. There's actually a little compartment that has a venomous wasp in it. And I release it, and I'm just gonna blow blow it at her. Is it a he or she? Righteous Jade?
Righteous Jade is a he. Iron Lion
Right.
is a he.
All right, I'm blowing it. Yeah. So
Roll
let's see if-
duel. Oh yeah.
13.
Righteous Jade is moving up on you, and then suddenly there's a eyes go wide, and he's dead before his body hits the floor.
So I grabbed this staff back and I pointed back at Iron Lion. Now that that's over. And I'm gonna
All
look
right.
over the table.
So this is one of those cases where clearly Grandmother Venom, her vengeance is with Iron Lion. Iron Lion has clearly orchestrated this, but he's a higher scale. So we're going to abstract this because you know you have to fight him. Ganfei, what do you do to lower Iron Lion scale to open him up to Grandmother Venom's attack? Like, he's potent, he's powerful. What do you do?
I think at the moment those two square off, you know, the sky's open up, we got thunders from the rain is coming down.
Yes.
And I think he has that smug look on his face.
Yes.
And and he just is about to take that drink, and I think Ganfei then does like he did on the road by pinging those stones. He kind of spins with the 9 ring sword and hits a chair that goes rocketing towards him to just knock that, just to get that smug look off face when Grandmother is challenging you. This is serious now.
And Dreaming Fall, the skies open up. You're the only one with an umbrella. You see Iron Lion kind of get knocked back a little by Ganfei, throws him off balance. What do you do to help lower his scale, to give Grandmother Venom that shot that she needs?
So first of all, I jump down very gracefully from the roof, and we've established that there are other people as well. And I
troops,
assume
yeah.
they're troops of my brother, and my brother is dead, so I command them now. And I call out to the members of Glorious Cloud Sect and say, disarm them.
Perfect. And I think that the ones who obey will take out the others. Iron Lion support his backup. They are removed from the situation. Black Jade, what do you do to help? What do you do to lower the scale of this villain?
Black Jade pulls Dawn and Dusk out of Captain Fang's body, and she kneels down and she says, "Forgive me." And then she says, "Husband, it is done. Your soul be at rest." She jams Dawn and Dusk point forward into the ground as hard as she can. And she says, "A curse on all here who still hold hate in their hearts. May they be burdened with the life I have."
And that's when there'll be a crackle of lightning and the immediate thunderclap when those words are spoken. And if you've ever been close to a lightning strike, that feel of the air vibrating there, and Iron Lion draws out his saber, rushes at you, Grandmother Venom. You know you have one chance. The fates have aligned here. One chance to fight him at his scale. Roll.
Right. All right. Let's see.
Look at
All
you.
right.
What does that look like, grandmother? What is that blow as he rushes at you?
Oh man. um I think I crossed my two staffs to block it. I'm standing on a table, and given how tall he is, we're actually eye to eye.
Mm-hmm.
And he just keeps attacking me, bringing up the past for some reason. And I'm just like laughing throughout the whole thing. And then I finally say, the good thing about poisons is that all you really need is one drop, one scratch. And then he looks at me, and I just kind of like go like this, and he reaches up and he sees that he's been wounded.
Oh, God. And then he collapses. There's a slow motion to the ground. Ganfei, what is your epilogue? In the immediate aftermath or down the road a ways? What do you think we see?
I think it's the immediate aftermath and that dreaming one. I have both lost family, but I have lost family, unfortunately, at the hand of dream. And I am still bleeding from the side. He's just far too young to realize that maybe his sister was not corrupted. She is corrupt, but he picks her and he's singing a childhood song that she taught him, and he's saying, it's okay, you didn't mean it, I know. And dreaming fall, he puts a hand on my shoulder to console, and I think the only thing he does is reach over at the table at that pear, that last gift, and replaces his shoulder with that pear, looks up and says, this really is the last gift I can give you, my friend, and walks out with her. And but yeah, he says, I love you, but I cannot bear to see you anymore.
Dreaming fall. What is the epilogue for you?
Wow. So obviously we're surrounded by enemies, and I can't really tell what about what's going on with the other clans, but I know that my people are loyal to me now. So I order everyone of them at least to come with us. So we've got we're able to escape safely. And yeah, maybe in the aftermath, I'll try to reach out to Ganfei, but not in person, just via some spies or scouts or whatever.
At distance, that split, he walks away as you gather your troops. Black Jade, what is your epilogue?
Black Jade goes to Dreaming Fall. And there's a lot of noise and there's a lot of people moving and such like that. And it all fades out into the background as the camera focuses in on the two of them only, as if just the rest of it just becomes kind of soft, muted background sound. Because this is, you're hearing it as Black Jade is hearing it. None of this is important. And Black Jade takes her knife out and she lays it on the table. And she says, I have done what I had to do. And now my worthless life is yours. If you take me or kill me, for I have no other purpose, but I would follow you to the end of the world.
I think we're going to cut that there, that leave that ambiguity there for the moment, let that hang. Grandmother Venom, you have last word, last epilogue here. What is it?
Two things. First thing is I have a small. I talked to Son of Stone and Wrath, and I just say I have one last lesson. You've learned everything else from me, but I have one last lesson, and there's a small fireplace there, and I throw my staffs there. I take off my bag and I throw it in there.
Your poisons. Wait.
And I say I don't need them anymore, and you. If I can find a new path, so can you. You are young, but you have to choose it. And I think the second scene I have, I will tell him, you have a sister who may need you. And then I think Dreaming Fall, do you think that you and Black Jade will get together?
I certainly won't kill her, but I think it's gonna be complicated because on the one hand there has to be justice, but also she's my friend, and
All right.
we'll see.
Okay, so in that case, I think there's a last scene of an academy with students in the class, and then a scholar comes and says, we have a special guest teacher today, and I think Grandmother Venom will come. She's given away, she's put her past behind her. She's now regained her scholarly pursuits, and she's in her, the scholarly white with the high black belt and those things that come out, and the black hat with the fold, and she begins teaching, and it's a class about fighting poison, and healing and all that. Yeah.
Nice. And that is our show. That's our movie. That is our story for today. Thank you all so much. Oh, good. Killer stuff there. Killing me. So good. I am going to stop the recording. If I can.